WKRP in Cincinnati premiered on September 18, 1978 on CBS and aired for 4 seasons, ending on April 21, 1982. The show was about Arthur "Big Guy" Carlson trying to run a failing Cincinnati radio station owned by his tough-as-nails mother. His own incompetence is overshadowed by the strange employees that work at the station, from wild disc jockeys Dr. Johnny Fever and Venus Flytrap to the geeky news director Les Nessman and obnoxious advertising sales manager Herb Tarlek. With the help of saner employees like Bailey Quarters, Jennifer Marlowe, and Andy Travis, Carlson tries gimmick after crazy gimmick to bring money into the station and make it successful. But what happened to the cast after the show ended? Gary Sandy played Andy Travis, the vice president and program director that served as the straight man for the eccentric staff of the station he was hired to run. After the series ended, he made guest appearances on Black's Magic, LA Law, Snoops, Murder, She Wrote, and The Young Riders. Then he played Billy Flynn in the Los Angeles production of Chicago, alongside Juliet Prowse and Bebe Neuwirth. During the 1990s, he also had roles in the movies Mommy's Day, Crossing Fields, and Against the Law. He also made more guest appearances in Diagnosis Murder, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Martial Law, and The Young and the Restless. He continues to perform in regional theater and has performed such roles as Elliot Garfield in The Goodbye Girl. Sandy has said that it bothers him that he is widely known for a 1970s TV show. He is now 77 years old and was married once during the first half of the 1990s, but he has no children. Gordon Jump played Arthur Carlson, occasionally called Big Guy. He is the middle-aged general manager, whose main qualification for the job is that his mother, a business tycoon, is the station's owner. After the show ended, he did a string of made-for-TV movies and made guest appearances on TV shows like Different Strokes, The Golden Girls, The Love Boat, Who's the Boss, and Growing Pains. He also was recognizable as the lonely Maytag washer repairman in commercials that ran on television for several years, starting in 1989. He also had a role in the new WKRP in Cincinnati, but it only lasted 2 seasons. He then made more guest starring roles on Baywatch, Empty Nest, Caroline in the City, Married with Children, and Seinfeld. His last movie roles were in the films A Christmas Tale, The Singles Ward, and Dismembered. He died at the age of 71 from pulmonary fibrosis that led to respiratory failure on September 22, 2003. Jump was married 3 times and had 4 children. Lonnie Anderson played Jennifer Marlowe, the station's receptionist and highest paid employee. After the program ended, she had roles on the TV series Partners in Crime and Easy Street, but they each only lasted 1 season. She was then in TV movies Blown Away, Whisper Kill, Too Good to Be True, and Sorry, Wrong Number. She also was the voice of Flo in the animated film All Dogs Go to Heaven in 1989. She received considerable praise for her work as comedy actress Thelma Todd in the television movie White Hot, The Mysterious Murder of Thelma Todd. Then in 1993, she was added to the 3rd season of the sitcom Nurses, playing hospital administrator Casey McCaffey, but the series was canceled shortly after. She also made guest appearances on TV shows Burke's Law, Melrose Place, Clueless, VIP, and many more. Anderson has been married 4 times, but most famously to Burt Reynolds, and she has 2 children. Howard Hessman played Dr. Johnny Fever, a veteran disc jockey who comes to WKRP after being fired from a major Los Angeles radio station. After the series ended, he played Sam Royer in 16 episodes of One Day at a Time, and then had movie roles in This Is Spinal Tap, Police Academy 2, and Flight of the Navigator. Then he starred as history teacher Charlie Moore in the TV show Head of the Class for 4 seasons. He also was in the new WKRP in Cincinnati, which lasted for just 10 episodes. During the late 1990s into the early 2000s, he made guest appearances on The Practice, That 70s Show, Boston Legal, ER, and many more. Nessman died from complications of colorectal surgery on January 29, 2022, at the age of 81. Richard Sanders played Les Nessman, the fastidious, bow-tied news reporter who is somewhat of a mama's boy and approaches his job with absurd seriousness, despite being almost totally incompetent. After the show ended, he made many guest appearances on shows like It Takes Two, Alice, Newhart, Spencer, and Knots Landing. He also had a role in the new WKRP in Cincinnati until it was canceled in 1993. Then he did voice acting for the video game Day of the Tentacle, and later the video game's sequel. He also had roles in the movies Black Circle Boys, Lover's Lane, and Men of Honor. Sanders is now 83 years old and is still married to his wife Marilyn, and they live in Washington State. Frank Bonner played Herb Tarlek, the boorish, tasteless, and vain sales manager at the station. He is sometimes referred to as Little Guy to Mr. Carlson's Big Guy. After the sitcom ended, he made guest appearances on The Love Boat, Newhart, Simon and Simon, Gimme a Break, and Crazy Like a Fox. He directed television shows in the 1980s and 1990s, including episodes of Who's the Boss, Head of the Class, Evening Shade, Newhart, and the NBC Saturday morning sitcom City Guys. He also had roles in the TV shows Just the 10 of Us, which aired from 1988 to 1990, and the new WKRP in Cincinnati, which lasted from 1991 to 1993. Bonner was married 5 times and had 5 children. He died on June 16, 2021, at the age of 79 from complications with Lewy body dementia. Tim Reed played Venus Flytrap, the soulful, funky evening DJ, who runs his show with a smooth-talking persona and mood lighting in the studio. After the program ended, he was in the TV series Teachers Only and played Lieutenant Downtown Brown in the show Simon and Simon. He also directed and adapted a children's TV show called Bobo Bob's that aired in the late 1980s. He created Stop the Madness, an after-school special video which was part of the 80s anti-drug push. Then he was in the TV series Frank's Place and Snoops, but they were both canceled after 1 season. During the 1990s, Reed played Frank Campbell in the show Sister Sister for the entire 6-season run. During the 2000s, he has made guest appearances in That's So Raven, That 70s Show, Grey's Anatomy, and many more. He is now 78 years old and has been married twice with 2 children. Jan Smithers played Bailey Quarters, the shy new college grad working at the radio station, who was originally in charge of billing and station traffic. After the show ended, she made guest appearances on the TV shows The Fall Guy, The Love Boat, Mike Hammer, and Murder, She Wrote. Smithers has been married twice, most famously to actor James Brolin, and was stepmother to his 2 children from a previous marriage. Together they have 1 daughter, but they divorced in 1995. Smithers is now 74 years old and has been retired from acting since 1987. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist. While you're at it, hit subscribe and share Recollection Road Entertainment with someone you know. As always, thank you so much for watching.